Hi, everyone, welcome. Stonites. I'd like to welcome, this is Sir Samuel from the Department of Psychology, and it's my immense pleasure to teach you for the very first time to all of you. I've been working here from last 5 years, and I will be your psychology teacher, and I'm very excited to teach you my subject. Now, this subject is all about, like knowing yourself and knowing others. And there are a lot of interesting things are there. We all will learn together and will enjoy. Let's begin our class. The first chapter that falls is called What is Psychology? Under that, we're going to learn the first topic that is called psyche. Psyche is a word which has been derived from Greek word. It means soul and logos. Now, soul, it's a logos means the study. Soul is the spirit. So that is called psyche. This was the understanding during the time of first stage. Now, these things get changed in the science. When science was introduced, the definition of the psychology also got changed. Now, psychology is known as study of experience, mental process, and behavior in different contexts. So there are three things in the definition of psychology now. One is the experience. The first one is experience. Now, what is experience? Experience means it's a subjective feeling of an individual. A person who experiences only knows about their experience. You may not understand what I'm going through in my life. I know about myself, about my problem. So, experience is a subjective feeling of an individual. This feeling can be a positive, this feeling can be a negative. Now coming to the next, mental process. Now, in order to understand mental process, let's bring another word that is called brain. Mental process does not have any structure, but brain has the structure. You get the understanding from the brain, okay, you get the idea from the brain, but you understand the idea from the mental process. You can see the brain, but you cannot see the mental process. Another example let me give you. In the recent studies, they found that whenever a person sleeps, according to the biology, the entire organism in our body get inactive. Whether it's our impulses, whether it's our nerve systems, bone, like whether it's our digestive systems, whether it's muscles, every organism that is there in the human body get inactive. Even the brain, during the time of sleep. But just imagine a person is coming at midnight and knocking at a door. Tock, 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 tock. Now you become awake suddenly. How these things happens? Now science, they found that we get to know because our mental process is always on active. That is called mental process. Now, coming to the another new topic that is called popular notions from the discipline of psychology. Now, in order to understand this new topic, you need to know two things. One is called common sense. The other one is called scientific method. Let's take the example of behavior. In terms of common sense, we all, the common people, know the psychologists, we use our assumption in order to predict the behavior. Now our prediction only happens once the behavior occurs. Or maybe our predictions are based on assumption, guessing. And we are not sure about it, whatever we predict. But when it comes to the scientific methods, they predict the behavior before it occurs. And the prediction is 100% correct. So that is the difference between common sense and scientific methods. Now coming to the next new topic that is called psychology as natural science. At the beginning, psychology suffered as a subject. Psychology was not a part of the science, nor it was a part of social science. Psychology subject suffered as a whole. But later on, psychology also became the part of natural science. How? Let me explain to you. Now, even in the Department of Physics, when this Stephen Hawking brought his theory that is called Big Bang Theory, he had a hypothesis. He had a lot of theoretical proofs. And therefore, his theory was accepted in the Department of Physics. Now, but still, now what about psychology now? Now, later on, the psychology also, they had a research. They found that psychology also can be the part of science, because psychology also has something to explain like emotions, feelings, aggression, love, sadness. All these are natural in human beings. Therefore, psychology also become a part of natural science. Okay, the next new topic that is called psychology as social science. Now, psychology also can be a part of social science, because psychology, they said behaviors are shaped by the culture. Now, whatever the thoughts that I have, whatever the behavior that I have, these all are based on my culture. Our culture, our religions shapes our thoughts and behavior. Therefore, psychology also can be the part of social science. Now next, coming to the next topic, that is called understanding of mind and behavior. Now, there is a great connection between mind and behavior. Now, a person has a problem. In the recent case studies, psychology, they found that there is a great connection between mind and the behavior. A person has the problem of artery problem. Now, when I say artery problem, it means the person has the problem of blood circulation in his body. Now, this person was taken to a psychologist. A simple treatment was done with this person was that psychology just said to this particular person, you just think that nothing is happening to your body. Just think that you're okay for a few months. Now, this person said, okay, let me do that if it is so. Now, this person began to think that, okay, nothing is happening to my life, I'm okay. Now, for around 6 to 7 months, this person was thinking in the same way as he was told to do. Now, after the diagnosis, they found that he didn't have any artery problem after that. You see how this mind and behavior has a great impact on each other. A positive thinking can lead to the positive behavior. Of psychology. Now, in this topic, we are going to discuss the evolutions, means the theory that were there, one after another, in the Department of Psychology. The first theory that came out in the Department of Psychology is called introspection. Introspection. In the introspection, the approaches were like they will call out the individual and they will tell them to explain about their experience and their mental process. But this theory was considered as less scientific because there was none of any scientific tools were used in this introspection theory. Therefore, this was denied by many psychologists. Now, against this theory, again another theory came out that is called functionalist. Functionalists, they said, we cannot focus in the structure of mind, but rather we should focus on what the mind does and how the behavior get adopted. Now, the person name is called William James. William James, in his theory, he said, again let me say, he said, we cannot give importance to the structure of mind, but rather we should give importance to what the mind does and how does the behavior function and get adapted with the environment. So this was the explanation about in his theory. Now against his theory, another theory came out that is called structuralism. In this structuralism, they said, they talk about perceptual experience. They do not give importance to the mind. They said, mind cannot be seen. Therefore, human beings should focus more on perceptual experience. Now, when I say perceptual experience means when you see something, then only you get to know. So they said psychology should focus on perceptual experience. Suppose in the movie you see varieties of colors and the roles and the people. Now when you see the movie, then only you understand about the movie. So that was the explanation about them. Psychology should focus more on perceptual experience. Means you get to know things only once you have a look, then only the understanding comes. Now the next, against of this, another person came, that is called John Watson. Now his theory is called behaviorism or behavior. Now according to the behaviorism, they said mind cannot be seen, perception cannot be observed, therefore none of this theory can be acceptable in the department of psychology. Therefore he said the thing which is observable, the thing which is measurable, and the thing which is definable can only be used in the lab. Therefore, internal things cannot be observed. Therefore, we need to give importance to external things. See how the theory is getting changed one after another in the evolutionary process. Now, let me give you an example. Now, you can observe my behavior, right, students? Now, I'm teaching you, I'm interacting with you. You can see this. So, this is the importance for them. Things which is observable, thing which is measurable, the things which is definable can be considered as the process of psychology. Because mind cannot be seen because these are internal. Okay, again, another theory came out that is called psychoanalysis. Sigmund Freud is the father of psychoanalysis. Now, according to him, he said human beings or psychology need to focus more on human unconscious. Now, when I say unconscious means the unfulfilled desires and the gratifications of needs that are there in the unconscious part of the human mind. Therefore, in order to understand psychology, we should give more importance on unconscious of mind. This unconscious of mind has a lot of things. Like you have forgotten your pleasures, you have forgotten your wills that you had, desire that you had. So this all need to be bring out in order to understand psychology. Therefore, his theory mainly focus on unconscious. Another theory that comes, that is called humanistic. In the humanistic theory, this theory was developed by Carl Roger and Abraham Maslow. According to them, human beings are born with free will and they are striving for motivation. Now, when they said human beings are born with free will, it means every human beings are born with potential naturally. Therefore, they can strive about their motivation by themselves. So that is the focus in their theory. Now the next theory, that is called cognitive. According to the cognitive, they said we know the world through thinking, understanding, memorizing, logical thinking, problem solving. So this is how we get to know about the world, through our thinking. Cognitive itself, it means thinking. Therefore, we get to know about the world through memorizing, understanding, thinking, problem solving, and decision making. So these are the processes that how they focus. The next one is called constructivism. According to this constructivism, they said the mind get developed when we exposure to this physical world. Now, according to Piaget and Vygotsky, they said the understanding of a child is getting shaped as they interact with their culture and the norms and the custom of their society. The understanding of a child is getting developed as they continuously interact with their culture. So this is the explanations about constructivism by Piaget and Vygotsky. Topic that is called another new topic that is called branches of psychology. Under this topic, we'll be studying 11 points. Okay. The first point is called cognitive psychology. In the cognitive psychology, they focus on mental process. Their main focus is on mental process. Under mental process, we have acquisition. Acquisition means inquiry, storage, manipulation, and transformation. So this is how the information is getting stored in our memory system. That is why it's called cognitive psychology. The next topic that is called biological psychology. In the biological psychology, they try to focus on the relationship between the mind and the behavior. How the mind is connected, or maybe our physical body is connected with our behavior. After that, developmental psychology, they focus on 3 factors: physical, social, and psychological. Now, in each state in the lifespan, our understanding get changed, right? Our physical also get changed. Even our social interaction also get changes as we grow. Therefore, the developmental psychology, they focuses on our lifespan. When I say lifespan, we all have stages, right? One after another, like babyhood, childhood, teenage, young adulthood, middlehood, old age. Am I right? As we grow, there are so many stages that we go through. And all those stages, they try to study all these 3 factors: physical, social, and psychological. The next one is called social psychology. In this, they try to focus on how people are affected by their social environment. How I am affected by my social environment. This is what they try to focus in social psychology. In the cross-cultural psychology, they try to see the role of a culture. They try to focus on the role of culture in terms of their behavior, their emotions, and thoughts. Let me explain again in simple words. Now, if I am a cross-cultural psychologist, I will try to assist you based on your culture. Now, based on your culture, what is your behavior? What is your understanding? And what are your emotions and thoughts? So this is what they focus. The next one is called environmental psychology. Environmental psychologists, they try to study the physical realms. Like they try to study the climate, they try to study the geographical locations, So these are the things that they focus. The next one is called health psychology. Health psychology, they focus on physical health. Now, what type of diet is going to will be helpful for you? Suppose if you have a stress, what type of diet should be taken and what type of precaution need to be taken care? These are the measures that they focus. The next one is called clinical and counseling psychology. Clinical psychology, they try to deal with the people, those who have some behavior problems like depression, mood disorders, anxiety. These are the that they deal. Now, counseling psychology has to do with those who have a stress problem, those who have a motivational problems. So these are the areas where they work together. The next one is called industrial or organizational psychology. This type of psychologists, they try to work in the companies. They try to motivate the employees in the company, and also they work with the HR in the company. They try to build the relationships between the employees and the manager in the company. And also if they have any personal issues or training issues, they will give the training. The 10th one, that is called educational or education psychology. Now educational psychology, they try to see how different age group they learn, how these old people they learn, how these children learn, based on their age group. They try to divide and they make certain type of learning style by which they implement in the school. The last one, that is called sports psychology. Sports psychology has to do with to enhance their motivations for the performance of the players. So these are the certain branches of psychology that fall. Another topic is that is called interdisciplinary nature. Interdisciplinary nature. Under this, we will be discussing 10 points. The first one is called philosophy. Now, basically in this topic, we'll be looking into how psychology is connected with all these departments. Now, the first one is philosophy. Now, if you see the philosophy, the psychological approaches were taken from the Indian philosophy, like philosophers were interested in the nature of mind. And a similar way as even psychology, their approaches were towards to the mind. Therefore, in the field of philosophy, they were interested in the nature of mind. Therefore, the understanding of the particular understanding of mind came through philosophy in the psychology. The next one, that is called medicine. Now, medicine and psychology also has the connection. For example, like a patient is there. Suppose a pregnant woman is there, is about to deliver her baby. Maybe she is not willing to give natural birth. Therefore, at that moment, medicine might not work. So the requirement of psychology is there. Therefore, if you see in today's world, in each hospitals there are counselors. Like suicidal patients are there, suicides, anxiety problems. There is no such medicine for that. On those areas, only counseling work. Therefore, even the hospitals, they are required a lot of counselors. So therefore, medicine and psychology also has a connection. Okay, now coming to the next, that is economics. Now, you might think that how this economics and psychology is interconnected. Now, suppose if you become the employee in the bank, now how you are going to see the consumers that will come to your bank? How you will convince them? You need to know the behavior of their behavior, right? You need to convince them about how to open up the, like savings, and you need to know how to open up FDF or maybe certain accounts for them, In order to understand their behavior and their thoughts, it's a very essential part of a banker to know the customer's behavior in terms of the saving account or maybe towards to opening a new account. You need to convince them. Then only the bank can be profited in such type of things. Therefore, economics and psychology also is connected in that case. Now coming to the next, political science. Now you might think that how political science and psychology is connected. Now during the time of election, whenever these politicians, they give speeches, they know the context and the needs of the voters. Similar way, the Modi, when he wins in 2014 election, you could see that how he win the hearts of the Indian people because he knew the mind of the voters. Therefore, even in the field of political science, psychology is connected. The next, coming to the sociology. In this sociology, psychology and sociology is connected because in the group or maybe in the society, there are so many sections of people are there. There are so many conflicts within the society amongst the caste. Therefore, a psychology need to understand those things also. So therefore, sociology and psychology also is interconnected with each other. Coming to the next, that is computer science. Now even in the computer, the hardware, software, and there is a memory systems are there. Permanent memory, temporary memory is there, right? Therefore, the understanding of computer also came through psychology. Like even in our human brain, there are sensory memory, Short-term memory, long-term memories are there. Similar way, the computer was created. Therefore, the computer science and psychology is connected. Now coming to the next, that is law and criminology. Now, in order to be a very good lawyer, a lawyer needs to know the case very well. And also, lawyer need to know the client and need to study the behavior of the responses. Then only the case can be dealt in a very smooth way. Therefore, it's a very important for jury or judge or whether it's lawyer, they need to know the behavior and the expressions of the clients very well. Therefore, psychology and criminology is very interrelated. The next one is called mass communication. Now you might say how mass communication is connected to psychology. Now when you become the generalist, once you become a media or reporter, you need to know what types of viewers that you have. Therefore, you need to know how to interact with your viewers. What type of report should be given to the what type of behavior or what type of viewers. Suppose if you're working in the midst of illiterate people. Now what type of report should be made for those type of people? Now you need to know the mindset, the cultural setup, the behavior, the thoughts and the emotions of certain section of the people, then only your report will be active. Therefore, even in the mass communication, psychology is very interrelated. Now coming to the next, that is music. Now music has to do with our emotions, right? Whenever we listen gospel songs or maybe as a movie song or love song, there is some level of emotion is connected with the music. Certain times when you hear music, you can't cry, right? Certain times you fall in love also when you hear the music. So at certain time you become happy and very excited to dance because of the music. There is an emotion with it. There is a feeling. Therefore, psychology and music is there. Therefore, in the olden days, in the Indian tradition, they used ragas, ghazal. These were there. Now next, coming to the architect and engineer. Now you might say that how psychology is interconnected in the Department of Architect and Engineering. Now, an architect, before they build any building or any house, they need to have first the structure, the image of that particular building. They need to draw the blueprint of that particular building. Then only they can proceed, right? So in that, the mental image is required in that case. Therefore, psychology and architect engineering is interrelated. Now coming to another new topic that is called psychology at work. Now we will see how psychology they work at present days. Number one, clinical psychologists. Clinical psychologists, they deal with the behavioral problem, such as if a person has anxiety problem, if a person has stress problem, if a person has eating disorder problem. This all problem will be dealt by clinical psychologists. Now the next one is called counseling psychologists. Counseling psychologists, they deal with a problem. If a person has a problem in motivation problem, then they can reach counseling psychologists. They can motivate you, they can counsel you, they can guide you. That is called clinical psychologist. The next one is called community psychology. Community psychology has to do with the rehab centers, like social places where a lot of like drugs addicts or alcoholic and substance abusers people are there. So this type of people can be dealt by the community psychologists. The next one that is called school psychologists. School psychologists has to do with like conducting tests, counseling, or interpreting the test or result. The next one is called organizational psychology. In the industrial psychology or organizational psychologies, is mentally has to do with employees and to work with a manager, and also to do some recruitment and also to give some training to the employees, and also the shuffling of the employees. Now employees might have some family problems, so they can approach psychologists in the company so that they can get rid with their problems. Now if an employee and the manager has a problem, then the psychology will become the mediator in order to bring a transparent relationship between the employees and the manager. So this is how psychology works at present days. The last topic of chapter 1, that is called psychology application in everyday life. The first one is called personal. In the personal level, the psychologists, for example, the psychologists, suppose a daughter has to face an alcoholic father or mother. Now the psychologist will counsel in such a way that she will able to face his or her drunkard or alcoholic father or mother. The next, that is the family. In the family, the psychologist will try to see the role of communication between the parents and the child amongst the family and their relationships. So that is the focus. The next, that is community. In the community, they will try to counsel the terrorists. Suppose there are so many Pakistanis or maybe some other terrorists who comes and attack India. This type of terrorists also can be counseled with true psychologists. And also maybe who has a group conflict in the society. This type of group of people also can be counseled through psychologists. The last one, that is called national level. In the national level, psychology, they work for justice. They also work for the empowerment of women, and also they work for the environment, the physical environment. So these are the application in psychology in everyday life. I hope you all will understand, relax, and make sure that you go through with the video slowly and steadily, and be relaxed when you watch. Do not take panic, and if you have any doubts, you can bring up or you can call me up at any time. Till then, we meet to our next video. Stay safe, stay home. God bless you.